like I need you in the morning light. Come unite, people like I want you in the monster light. And I said, oh, 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 only the devil knows. Jesus invites the sleep welcome danger monster light. One pleasant
Hey, I know these guys.
It's Ben.
I'm Ben, this is Canman, and welcome to Off the Map Live. Coming to you live from Vision's Tattoo, Piercing and Art Gallery. Yes! We got a good crowd here tonight. We're shooting from in the middle of their... Well, actually, you know what? I'll let Canman tell you about what we're shooting in the middle of.
This is called the Outside the Box Art Collective, which is a monthly collective of like-minded, wacky, artistic individuals who like to hang out and paint.
There are some seriously wacky individuals here. For those of you who've been listening for the last couple hours, I'm sure you've heard and seen some of that wackiness. All right, well, I'll tell you a little bit about our sponsors. This show is brought to you by TattooNOW and Off the Map, with locations in East Hampton, Massachusetts, Grants Pass, Oregon, and coming March 21st, we'll be in Grotto, Italy. Well, just outside Grotto, Italy. I'm really excited about that. Let's see. We're also brought to you by some upcoming seminars. We've got one with Guy Aitchison. There you are right there. In February. And he will also be doing one with Jeff Gogue. Those will be happening both in February, I believe. One is free and one is paid. You should check those out. There's more information at TattooNOW.com. You can find out all that stuff. So on this episode, we have Canman. Canman is, well, let's see, what's it say here? The style of his work tends to lean towards visionary and surrealism. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. He's been tattooing a long time, painting also a very long time.
Yep.
We'll be talking to Ron Earhart. He's out of Analog Tattoo out in California. And we will talk to London Reese. He's going to tell us about what he's been up to. You might recognize him from season 1 of Best Inc. We probably won't talk a shit ton about that, because who cares about reality TV anyway?
Yeah, it's that.
Oh, I'm totally going to get fucking reamed for that one. So, we're going to talk with Canman in just a minute.
What video you want to watch?
Oh, Matt doesn't have a video?
I don't know a video that we want to watch.
We'll talk to Canman right now.
Do it.
Let's do it right now.
All right, man. So we'll start with the basics. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Medway, Massachusetts.
And where is Medway for folks that don't know?
Medway is about 26 miles southwest of Boston, in the suburbs.
It's beautiful out here. Visions is in this big old Victorian house, pretty much. You guys are going to be moving into all 3 floors sometime soon?
That is the plan, absolutely.
Right now they're in 2 floors. This place just keeps going on and on. It's beautiful. If you're ever out this way, you should stop by and check it out. So how long have you been tattooing?
I will be started in 1995, so it's 19 years in February.
How did you get into it?
It was kind of accidental. No, not really. I was an airbrush artist at the time, and I was going to the bookstores and looking at a lot of magazines to give me ideas and references for different airbrush jobs. And I started picking up tattoo magazines and was really impressed by the type of work that was being done. At the time, you know, Guy Aitchison and Aaron Kane and Paul Booth, they were really pushing boundaries, and never really saw tattoos like that before. And that's what got me inspired to get my first tattoo. And then just the experience of getting the tattoo, just the whole aura, just the whole vibe inside the studio. And then I kind of thought about it. That's the highest honor an artist can get, is to have somebody want them to put their artwork on them permanently. So I was like, that's super cool. So that's kind of what got me started into it. So
right on.
Yeah.
So we have talked to you before on the show, so we do have a little bit of your background. But as far as painting, you know, we're in the middle of one of your painting nights. What drew you to painting? Did you paint before you tattooed? And I mean, you said airbrush, but did you do what you're doing now, acrylics, oils, that type of thing?
No, that actually wasn't something until I got into tattooing. I started doing not watercolors, I started doing colored pencils for flash, because I used to draw a lot of flash. And then tried out watercolors, and then just sort of just tried other mediums. I guess just looking at what other tattoo artists were doing, because I noticed people were starting to do that. And so that's when I got into it. And I've been more and more getting excited about it, and I've actually seen the results from other artists of how often they paint and how much they put into it and how much that's really reflecting into their tattooing. And so that's kind of got me stoked to do it more.
The chat room wants to see what you've been working on. Is there any way you could drag it over here for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me grab this. We're here for you guys, so of course we'll make a concession here, and he'll go over and hopefully he won't screw it up by getting his hands all over a wet painting. But he was in the one spot tonight that we couldn't really get the camera on because he was kind of far away from us. So.
I just do this one. This cool. Just the last one I did.
Right on. So that's gonna get a good shot of that. You can kind of hold it in the light. It's tough. It's wet.
Yeah, it's wet.
It's got a title yet?
I don't know. Creepy Study #1. I'm not sure.
You want to set that down over in front of the projector? So the chat room appreciates that. They said it kicks ass.
Cool.
Thanks for bearing with us, guys. So tell us a little, how long have you been doing this art night?
I think we started maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. It was 4 years ago is when we started. It was pretty much based on the fact that, you know, every artist kind of has a tendency to hide in their box, you know, like their room or whatever painting room they do that they work in, and they kind of just stay in their own little confines. And for myself, after a while, I kind of get, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of getting blocked off from what's going on and kind of uninspired. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have just have people come over and paint, and that way everybody can kind of vibe off of everybody else's vibe off of their work, and you know, kind of get that fire lit in their ass to want to paint more. Also share ideas, look at different techniques, and you know, for example, if you've always wanted to try a watercolor, but you've been afraid to, or you don't know how to approach it, there might be somebody here that does it, and you can kind of learn some of their techniques and share some ideas. So that was kind of the inspiration from it, is to just get kind of people together, because I always get jazzed up after I've been painting with a group of people, and it kind of gets me fired up and really keeps me motivated to keep painting when I'm by myself. Right. So that's kind of the premise behind it.
So what kind of characters show up to these things?
We get a mix of people. I mean, I predominantly get a group of tattoo artists that are from our area, from the New England area, but we also get people that are just into art, you know, whether they do art for a living or they just do it for fun. I have a friend that's a school teacher, so he likes to come by from time to time and just work on his own personal projects because he doesn't have time to do it, you know, at school. And so yeah, it's a good mix of people, and different levels too. Some people have been doing their medium for a long time and they're really advanced at it, and some people are just new and trying it out. So
what kind of things have you seen being worked on tonight? I know we've seen a lot of it, but
tonight's been a good mix. I mean, we have oils, watercolors, acrylics, colored pencils and markers. We have somebody just doing straight up like ballpoint pen and doing really phenomenal stuff.
Some pretty badass stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen him work on at least, you know, half a dozen to 10 different drawings tonight. Just shuffling through, and they've all been pretty badass.
Yeah. So
and I saw him blow smoke out of his mouth without actually inhaling smoke.
Yeah. He doesn't smoke, but he blows smoke. It's amazing.
It was cool.
Yeah.
So if you guys, you know, watched the earlier stuff, you could have seen that.
Yeah.
He's got an internal
all the
fire.
freaks are out tonight.
So we've kind of been scrolling through some of your paintings as we've been talking, and how did you gravitate towards visionary art?
I've always enjoyed bright colors, vivid colors. I was very influenced by a lot of the psychedelic artwork and a lot of the 60s art that was going on, like in Zap Comics and Robert Williams and that kind of style. A lot of the concert posters from like the Fillmore and stuff from back in the 60s and 70s, and I've always been drawn to that. And then also another combination would be Alex Gray's work. I'm a fan of his. So that's kind of the style that I've kind of got into. Plus I like visionary in the sense that it touches upon a lot of different subject matter. So, you know, it can be spiritual, it can be psychedelic, it can have, you know, religious tones to it. There's a whole wide variety of different subject matter that you can do with visionary. It's not, you know, it's not like if you're into horror then it's all horror. You know,
right.
You know, I could do nature themed type of things. I could
It's
have a
like
visionary
this
quality.
one here. We're looking at a bird with the cooling tower behind it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, even it's, you know, it's got even a slight political kind of feel to it as well.
I've noticed a political bent in a lot of your paintings. Is there a message that you're trying to convey there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of times, you know, with art and in terms of inspiration for art, a lot of times it's just what's going on around the world. So, you know, there could be things that are just beautiful that really capture your attention, or it could be stories or, you know, just crazy bullshit that's on the news that's enough to make you pissed off and angry, and you just want to do a painting that just kind of shows the message behind it that you want to get behind. So, I mean, you know, for example, like this would be, you know, environmental issues and pollution and that type of shit. And like this actual painting was inspired from just going for a hike. I like to hike a lot, and I was out in the woods and I was just listening to my tunes and I was enjoying the day and watching all the birds and everything, and I saw this one bird sitting on a branch and it was really beautifully colored. I didn't know what type it was, but I was staring at it going, wow, that's pretty cool. And then kind of off in the distance I noticed a couple smokestacks from a factory that's probably a couple miles away, but just because of the elevation of where we were at. And it was an interesting you know, kind of a contradiction in terms.
Strange,
where I was this beautiful bird and then this, you know, shitty, disgusting thing in the back. And, you know, just, you know, your artist's mind, you start thinking of different concepts, and idea kind of came to my mind that maybe I should do a series of paintings of beautiful birds with horribly depressing backgrounds behind it. So I guess that's...
So you mentioned Alex Gray. I know you've done some live painting at some of his events.
Yeah, me and my wife have been going to his events for many years, and you know, mainly because it's kind of the same spirit of what we've got going on here with the Outside the Box, where it's kind of a creative environment. It's meant for people that enjoy music and art and basically the whole creative side of things. And I guess that's sort of the religion that he's preaching over there is you know, kind of spirituality between or through art, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not a heavily spiritual person per se, but, you know, when I'm painting I can go into a zone or kind of go into a meditation where I feel like I've been painting for an hour and a half and actually 6 hours have gone by. So that to me is a meditation. So
Sure, and that's a great feeling to get kind of lost.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah, you
like
get
that.
lost, like you're in your zone. So that's...
So we're looking at a painting of one of your shop employees here.
Yeah, this is Frank Ponte. He's the owner of the shop,
Oh.
and he's the liaison with all the telemarketers and solicitors that come to the studio. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind painting this one?
I actually just wanted to do a bunch of still lifes. I always joke around about how a lot of younger people don't get involved with art organizations in their areas because it's a bunch of older folks painting bowls of fruit and fucking sailboats on Cape Cod Bay. And but I've always appreciated still lifes. I've just thought that the subject matter, maybe a different type of subject matter that I'd be into, or maybe, you know, a whole different genre of people out there would be into. So I thought it'd be cool to do a combination of just cool designs or you know, knickknacks that we have around the studio. Every artist, or even tattoo artist for that matter, has a cool collection of toys and skulls and crazy shit. So I thought that would be kind of a good starting point to grab all the different things I have and put them in together and into different compositions and playing around with lighting, and then, you know, take a photo of it, maybe do a little Photoshop manipulation, and then use that as a basis for a painting. So that's kind of where that came from. Really just to do a still life and play with lighting.
So do you use Photoshop when you're painting? Is it something you use a lot? Is it something?
I've been finding I've been doing it more and more. It's, you know, obviously, I mean, I'd say I'm definitely guilty of looking at imagery on Google, but I've gotten much better at taking my own photos and, you know, manipulating the photos that I have. And I don't do any art per se with the computer like digital art, but I do find it's a really great tool to make some changes to your photo to use as your reference. So, you know, for example, I might be able to put some smoke into a background that's not there.
Right.
And it just kind of helps me visually instead of trying to imagine what it's going to look like, which I have tried to do, and sometimes it works and sometimes it epically fails. So, so you know, just learning Photoshop is actually really helpful to kind of do some tricks and just add to the manipulation of the photo. So
I've seen a lot of digital artwork, like more and more and more lately, digital painting.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on digital painting? Do you think that has the same validity as, you know, like a more tactile, oil, acrylic, pastels?
You know, I guess it depends on, you know, the work you're looking at. There's this one particular artist, his name's Android Jones. If anybody's heard of him, his shit's phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing what he does. I don't think I have the patience to, well, put it this way, he's obviously been doing it for a long time, really understands the programs, and has been fucking with it, obviously, for quite a while. It's really amazing what he does, and so I think there's definitely validity to it. Obviously, with digital art, obviously, it's going to be prints and G-clays and that kind of thing,
right.
so you're not going to have an original to use. You know, it's hard to say. For myself personally, I just think it's just a whole big learning curve that I'd have to do in terms of learning the programs and putting the time into it. And I'm already juggling too many hats.
Do you think an original actually exists in digital art?
Original?
Yeah, you know, it's because they're all prints. You think in a what would it be?
You know, my opinion on that, and that's an opinion based on somebody who doesn't know jack shit about computers and stuff for the most part, would be that there really isn't an original, but well, I mean, there's the work that was put into it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's just as valid as the work an artist puts into an oil painting. But again, it's, you know, you don't have that tangible, like,
you can't
know,
hold
in your hand
right.
painting. You know, if anything, I would say it's more like, you know, I've got an original Android Jones painting. It's on this disc.
Yeah, right,
you know,
right,
would be I guess how that would work. So I don't know. I guess maybe the notoriety and the value of the artist than maybe having that disc of the original copy that he did that digital design on, maybe that'll be worth money down the road when he becomes a big name. I mean, he's a big name now, but I'm just saying,
right,
that could be the new thing down the road, that people don't need original art. They might have the original CD from this particular famous guy, you know. So
right.
Again, I'm just speculating because I don't really know a lot about.
You'll see some old crusty laptops or Cintiq tablets in museums, like, this is the one that so-and-so made this masterpiece on, and it's like kind of cobwebby old.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I could see that happening. Definitely.
I hope that shit doesn't happen, man. I mean, no disrespect to digital artists, because there's some amazing ones out there. Well, hey, we're going to bring in Ron Earhart. If you want to sit with us and chat with him, that would be cool. Sure. You got some questions for him?
Yeah, I do. I got my paper.
Got a video for him too?
Yeah. Ron is bio-mech master, working at Analog. His stuff is badass. He does amazing tattoos and really amazing paintings and sculptures. So we're going to take a look at a lot of that stuff, and we'll talk with him and see how he's doing out there. So take a look at this video and we'll be right back.
Really into sci-fi, so when I saw that being tattooed, it just grabbed me. I was like, that's what I want to do. got me into tattooing was bio-mech, you know, seeing what Aaron Kane and Marcus Pacheco and, you know, even Paul Booth had a little bit of it going on back in the day. This is like back in the early 90s, you know. So what I'm doing at this point is I'm laying down all the black shading before I start color. Someone asked me earlier if I do gray, and no, I don't do gray. I just use straight black for the shading to kind of make a strong foundation, I guess you would say.
And then we'll talk about that later. Hey, all right, we're back. I don't know why I seem surprised every time we come back from a video. I know it's coming. Matt tells me way in advance. So we're gonna dial up Ron Earhart on Skype. Ron's completely self-taught. Started tattooing at a very young age. Let's see. Born in Buffalo, grew up in Arizona, and is now in California. He's going to tell you this kind of stuff too. He was just recently at Paradise Tattoo Gathering, and that's where that video came from. And there he is. Hey man, how are you?
Good.
Good. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, can you see myself and Canman?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, I just got to make a little adjustment on an amplifier in the room here, and then I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
That's brutal. Cool. So, we'll get right into how you started and whatnot. I know that you started tattooing at a pretty young age.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you get into tattooing?
Really, it just came about with hanging out with buddies that I skateboarded with, and they ended up. I don't know. I think through magazines, skateboard magazines, we saw like Jason Jesse and the Godoy brothers doing tattoos on each other, and yeah, pretty much from there, kind of sparked our interest. We started making like homemade tattoo machines, and.
What were you making?
Yeah,
what were you making them out of?
Oh, shoot, drum parts. Some of it was just your old school pen and guitar string and like a cassette motor. That's kind of where we started, and then I started using like drum parts and like RC car motors, and just using stuff that we could get our hands on at the time. And then a little bit after that, I had one of my mom's friends was a biker guy who knew like how to get professional tattoo equipment, and so I started doing that.
Do you are you a biker yourself?
Yeah, actually, I've been riding Harleys since I was 17, and I just recently got a sport bike.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh man, amazing.
Yeah? Was it hard to make the switch? Did your Harley buddies bust your nuts?
No, I pretty much rode alone anyhow, so anything with two wheels, I love it.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely.
Yeah.
So do you think the biker culture and the tattoo culture are still linked like they used to be?
Yeah, definitely, but it's expanded so much now. There's really, where before there used to be segregation, now there's really no segregation with it. It's, you see sport bike guys riding with Harley guys, everyone's tattooed now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I know you're a musician.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you play?
I play death metal.
Yeah?
And metal. Yeah.
Cool. What's the name of your band? I mean, I see your t-shirts. I think I know it. But.
Yeah, Symbiotic.
Nice. What do you play in the band? You're a guitar player?
No, I play drums.
Oh, no. One of those guys.
Yeah.
I'm a bass player, so, I love drummers. Because, bands would be nothing without us.
Yeah, exactly. Bass players are hard to find.
I saw one. I saw one of your carved guitars online. Is that something you do a lot of?
I'm trying to get into it a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I've done more skateboards than guitars. I've probably done like 4 guitars
Around
now. Yeah.
Whoa, what is that noise? So do you think, I asked you about biking and tattooing, do you think music and tattooing is, still has the same link that it's always had, and why do you think there is that link?
Yeah, I mean, actually, the photo you're showing right now, those are guitar tubes. And the one there at the bottom is actually for a DAR amp head. Yeah, I mean, I think tattooing and music go hand in hand. I mean, literally, the word tattoo means to tap in like a rhythmic form. So, I mean, they're basically rooted. And, of course, most musicians have tattoos. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand for sure. I get a lot of clients that are into metal, interested in the type of tattooing I do.
Yeah, why do you think metal guys are drawn to bio and kind of the darker stuff like that? What?
I just think it kind of, that artwork has always almost been the image of the sound, So, I mean, you see it when you go into the metal section and you see all the artwork that is on all the album covers. Most of it is, kind of dark and gory and has kind of like a bio-mech feel to it, It just goes with the sound, I think.
So I think Canman's got a question for you if you're willing to take it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Cool. Yeah, I've got one question I was wondering is, especially because you do a lot of big tattoos, and granted, a large body of your work is the bio-mech. Question I had is, what suggestions would you have for artists in terms of how they can practice out, maybe whether it's on paper or a different medium, to get a good understanding of how to take their tattoo designs and lay it out over big areas of the body, or larger parts, just to get the design to flow and to fit better on the body parts. Like, is there any specific tricks or different types of exercises that you've done or that you can recall in the past as you were going through your, getting to the point of where you're at now, that you can think back to, like, oh, these particular things I did, I think was really helpful to get a better understanding of how to lay out tattoos on such a large scale?
That's just one of those ones that I think as I progressed, it just kind of naturally came about. Of course, coming and tattooing with all the guys from New School and, Adrian Lee, Paco, and all those guys, we kind of were really pushing the larger bodies of work. As far as, like, how to approach it, I mean, really one of the things I do that works really well is, I'll take a photo of somebody, like if they're wanting to get their back or their chest done, I'll take a photo of them and then I'll print that out and, make 5 or 10 copies of it, and I'll just sit there and sketch on their photo. I'll photocopy enough to where, like, if I'm not liking where it's going, I could just set that aside and get a new photocopy and start just, kind of sketching out something. A good amount, like the one that's being shown right now, that one was drawn as a thumbnail, and pretty much from there I took and did a fine line drawing over that thumbnail and blew it up, and it fit him like a glove because it was on this photo to begin with. So that's one of the things. It's a lot easier with fronts and backs to pull that off. When it comes down to sleeves, I think, approaching larger bodies, you have to draw that on. At least some of the wrapping part you have to draw on. I mean, you could probably get a good portion of, like, say, one of the viewing planes, like, say, the outside of the arm, and, maybe thumbnail that and maybe even stencil it, but, as it comes around onto the inside, you're going to have to probably end up drawing a lot of that in just to make that transfer. A lot of times with limbs, it works a lot better for me to draw it on because I can get stuff to fit right exactly where I want it, as opposed to trying to stencil it on and having a fight with the paper and the wrapping, stuff like that.
Cool. That was a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully that answers a little bit.
Yeah. So who are some of your inspirations? I can definitely see some Guy Aitchison in your work. So who are some of the other artists that inspire you?
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest inspirations tattoo-wise would be Aaron Kane, of course, and, Marcus Pacheco, Guy Aitchison, a good amount of people that I've worked with, like Nate Banuelos, Adrian Lee, Renee Chavita, Philip Liu is one of my big inspirations, the way he just tackles large bodies of work. I have other people that I like that aren't tattooers too. Of course, H.R. Giger.
Oh yeah.
There's an artist named Raymond Swanlin. He does a lot of digital, mainly all digital stuff. Check him out; it'll blow your mind. And of course, like Muka, and there's just so many different artists out there that that were never tattooers, but that I'm inspired by.
So what are your thoughts on digital artwork? I just asked Canman a little earlier. Do you think it has the same validity as like a traditional tangible art?
Yeah, I mean, it's still, to me, like when you're doing it, you're actually still putting all the work into it. There might be some shortcuts. I would say more fail-safe things about the digital painting and stuff like that, because you can do layers, and if it's just not going right, you can erase that layer and start over again, as opposed to just having to paint over something you've previously painted on.
Yeah, there's no Command Z on an oil painting.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with oil and acrylic. I mean, it's almost like it's set in stone in some sense. I really like the digital medium. I would like to pick up a tablet, something that I could do a little better, like more professional style paintings on. I'm using the iPad right now. I have a program called Sketchbook Pro on there, and it actually works pretty well, but it's it's Fisher Price compared to the Wacom Syntec.
Yeah, have you talked to Marcus Leonard about his setup? He's got a pretty amazing digital setup.
Yeah, actually, I spoke with him a little bit at the Paradise Gathering, and yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. It's, I would definitely have to get a new Mac, and it'd probably be about a $6,000 setup, just to get started. I mean, if I was going to get the tablet that I wanted, of course.
Oh yeah, those things don't come cheap for sure.
No, they're pretty spendy.
So, I was looking through some of your artwork, and I saw a painting that was half sculpture and half painting. It had like some tubes and things on it.
Yeah,
It was green, and like it kind of spiraled down in a really bright glow in the middle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have you done a lot of that kind of mixed media kind of stuff?
I have one other in progress. I just moved from, I just moved probably about 10 miles, moved everything in my house, so I kind of put some of my art projects on hold for a minute, but now that I'm settled in, you're gonna see a lot more of that from me for sure. I have some plans for possibly an art show. I was planning on having it this year, but it ended up, the move kind of took a lot out of me, and just trying to keep up with work and everything held me back from doing it. But I do have a lot of stuff in progress that hopefully
piece is really great. I mean, it jumped out. It jumped out at me. I had to walk around and show everybody because I have a couple more of those in progress. One is a little more finished than the others, and but I'm just holding off before I show anybody. I don't, I didn't want it to get out there before I had a chance to complete them, But I'll definitely put them up and keep you guys in the loop for sure. Put a little still shot so I can get up.
Yeah, 1 second.
No, this is still.
I think I sent you a picture of that one too.
Lost him.
What?
I lost him.
Alright. Hold on a second, Ron. We lost your audio real quick. Check it real quick. Yeah.
Check the triple. That's what it's coming out of.
It seems all good.
Hey Ron, can you say something?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You hear me now?
You're back.
Yep. Alright.
There it is.
I got you running through an old GK bass amp right now because we're running on a shoestring. So
okay.
I think that might have been a little bit of the issue.
All right.
We're pretty DIY over here at Off the Map Live. You wouldn't know it, but we are.
Nice.
So
The behind the scenes.
where do you think the future of tattooing is headed? It's kind of exploded recently.
It's hard to say, man. I mean, really, I have seen it explode. I think it has a lot to do with the TV shows. I think after a while it'll probably calm down a little bit. It's really weird to see how many people are coming into the industry and just the amount. I mean, it's good and bad for business at the same time. I think after a while it'll kind of calm down. It's like everything gets a bit of exploitation. I feel like skateboarding had it. There was a time where everybody skated. And in a lot of, I'm sure motocross had it, everything. So I think it'll calm down, and the people who are true will stick around, and, I think all the other people will just kind of fade away, or it just won't be the cool thing to do at the time.
Right on. So we've got a chat room going right now, and we got a question. They want to know where do you usually travel to when you're traveling?
You know, I've done London a few times. You know, when I travel, I usually go do tattoo conventions. Japan. You know, I've done Rome, Italy a couple times. Just went down to Australia and Melbourne. You know, I like to go all over. It's really tough to travel though. I mean, it's getting a lot harder to take your equipment out of the country or into other countries now, just because they're getting keen to us going places and working.
Right.
Which is kind of, you know, it's kind of a bummer. It's not like we're going and making millions of dollars. We're not corporations, you know. I mean, it's pretty small chump change, really, when it comes down to it. But you know, I'd like to still travel. I mean, if it comes down to us having to like ship our stuff out, you know.
Right. You think you'll ever make it out to out here, the East Coast? I know we got a lot of metal fans out here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do my best to make it out that way. I would be honored to come out and, you know, spend a week or two and, you know, tattoo and hang out.
That'd be badass. Sure. I'm sure Matt Driscoll would appreciate another session on his leg too.
Oh yeah.
He said,
got to drive him out here also.
Yeah, actually, Matt and I and Gabe are all going to be traveling out your way this winter.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
let me know.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, I think Matt's going to be at your shop.
Okay, yeah. I told him to set up a guest spot for sure. That'll be good.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, thanks for talking with us. I appreciate it.
No problem. I was going to give a quick shout out to all my buddies in Yuma, Arizona. Don Humphrey, I think he's watching, and you know, all my extended family out that way, and you know, everybody in Fresno and all that good stuff. So
right on. Hey, everybody out there. Well, hey, I'd love to have you back another time, and maybe we can talk a little bit more in depth. It was great to have you here.
Man, thank you so much.
And I'd like to see you in person out on the East Coast sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on here, and it's been an honor.
Right on. Thanks, Ron.
All right, take care.
So we're going to try to ring up London now, and we'll get him on the Skype. And while we're waiting for that, we're going to show you one of his new videos.
Nope. We're going to do it.
No, we're not.
There we are.
Show the goddamn video.
It's coming up.
My whole life. I mean, I remember like drawing on everything. My earliest childhood memories definitely are of me drawing on the mail and all the scrap paper, and my mom teaching me how to write my name on the envelopes, and you know, being obsessed with it.
Your heart makes music. I can hear
funny that all these I'm still that same kid who likes to draw on everything and create and learn. And I feel so privileged to be able to be an artist and to make a living at creating and doing something, you know, worth something. I'm definitely blessed.
That was London Reese's latest video. I'm glad you guys could check that out. We're going to dial him up and have a little chat with him. How we doing, Matt?
We're calling him up.
Awesome.
We in there. He's on.
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's happening? I can't see you. Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah, let's see.
Unless you've really changed your face. Hey, there you are.
What's up, dudes?
How are you, man? Nice to see your face.
Great. Likewise, likewise.
So, welcome to Off the Map Live. Don't be nervous in front of the camera.
Deal.
So I'm here with Canman. I don't know if you guys know each other.
How you doing?
Canman, London.
How's it going?
Pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and like how you started tattooing?
I'm a nerdy artist who likes to tattoo. That's a little bit about myself, but I started tattooing right out of high school in the beginning of college, and I just haven't looked back since. And that was 2006-ish that I started. 2008, I think I started professionally at a shop and like really actually learning and getting somewhere.
So what drew you to tattooing?
Tattooing, everything. I guess with all the bands I used to listen to, punk rock and metal, and all the skaters I looked up to, all my favorite dudes just were covered in tattoos. So it was kind of like, I kind of want to look like that, and that was probably my initial interest, really. But from there, I just kind of knew I was going to be covered in tattoos, and it wasn't necessarily something I thought I was going to be like a tattooer by any means, but I just knew I wanted to be covered in them. And an interest from probably like fourth grade turned into like I started designing my tattoos in junior high, and then like all through high school I just drew tattoos hoping I'd get them one day, and that was really kind of it, man. I mean, I think it was freshman year of college. I was like, yep, I'm gonna do this, and I'm never looking back.
So what was the first tattoo that you got?
My first tattoo was a Sacred Heart on my inner bicep, and I only had enough money to get the outline, but I went to a shop that was reputable. It was actually Sid's Tattoo here in Orange County, and it's a good traditional shop that's known for good work. And I went in there and showed him kind of a design, and the artist there, Jason, was like, "Yeah, let me work with it a little bit." It was a little amateur at best, but he fixed it for me, and I saved as much money as I could at 18 and got an outline of the Sacred Heart, and it's still one of my favorites. I got it finished later on too.
Did you have it finished by another artist, or did you have it finished by the same guy that started it?
I did, because apparently the guy that was there left, and they were kind of anti telling me where he went, you know what I mean? So so I ended up getting tattooed at another shop, a nice shop, and the guy Ben fixed it, or well, finished it, I should say.
So have you ever gotten any bad tattoos?
Absolutely, absolutely. Much to my dismay, I got a nice ankle tattoo by a mutual friend at a sweet tattoo party, and that was a dumb decision.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's
one of those ones that's like nostalgic, you know, like it was with a group of friends and it was fun, so I don't think I'll ever cover it, but it's certainly not good by any stretch of the word.
You're like, I really love this piece of shit. This is my favorite bad tattoo.
It's one of those like pieces of shit that you love, for sure. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is.
You know, I think anyone's got a bunch of tattoos has at least one of those, you know?
Yeah, I would certainly hope one bad tattoo should grace everybody's body.
I got more than one. So what was the first tattoo that you did on someone?
It was actually a relatively simple Sacred Jerry type, Sailor Jerry type skull and crossbones. My brother's friend saw that I was tattooing, I was practicing on practice skin and stuff, and he's like, "All right, man, it's my turn." I'm like, "Oh, okay, no big deal, no pressure." And it was like the simplest, smallest thing, no bigger than like an apple, like maybe even a plum, and just it wasn't. It was super hard and stressful and stuff, but it wasn't that bad. I can't lie, like it wasn't awful. Like the lines weren't perfect, but it was okay. You know, I was building up lines back then, like I do now, because I was using way too small of a needle for like a traditional, you know, what should be like a 14 round. I was using like a 3, so it was garbage. But like I just sculpted up this fucking nice little skull and crossbones. It was just an outline, but it worked out. I'd love to see it. I wish I knew where the guy was.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it since I did it, and that was 2006, I think. So yeah, shit, it's probably not that good now.
It might be. Who knows? Who knows? You know?
Who knows? Who knows?
So there's a chat room going along. I know you noticed that.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
Somebody wants to know if you have any tips for up and coming artists.
It depends how far you are as an artist. If you're not a tattooer yet, get an apprenticeship. Go learn from somebody who knows what they're doing and has a teacher's heart. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend a ton of money, but be prepared to make no money and learn the right way. It's important. And learn from the ground up, and you will be that much better of a tattooer. I've watched guys learn correctly, and I've watched guys like myself not learn correctly and struggled for years until I got into a proper environment where I was able to learn from guys who did know how to tattoo properly. So please, I encourage you to get an apprenticeship, learn from somebody who cares about tattooing and wants to teach the craft because they love the craft enough to teach it properly. If you're already a tattooer, good for you. Welcome, congratulations, it's awesome. Be prepared. It's like finals night or finals week forever. You're gonna have lots of late nights and draw way too much and then some more, and it's still not enough. And that's okay, because we're artists, and if you can make a living making art, that is beautiful. And I encourage you to appreciate it and never forget that like art is beautiful, and honestly, like, you are blessed that you get to tattoo. So keep at it and never stop working hard, because if you stop working hard, like, honestly, your work's gonna suffer. The harder I work, the better my work gets, and that is the most fulfilling thing as an artist that I can think of. Just just watching yourself progress, and that's it, man. That's it, and you'll never stop. You'll never stop. I can't imagine it.
Do you
keep going?
Do you tattoo full time? You tattooing all the time?
I tattoo like damn near 6 days a week, like all day, as much as I can. I love it. I just want to get better.
So I'm gonna have to ask you this question. The show, how did that affect your career? Was it good? Was it bad? Did it get you more clients? You know.
You know what? I'll be perfectly honest with you. It helped. I was lucky enough to have worked with DeVries and the gang for a little while, and that really helped me learn and get better, and built a good strong network. You guys, TattooNOW, and I was doing well. The show was just I signed up straight up just to like hopefully get a few more clients out of it, and it really did help. I was lucky enough to win, but that's a whole nother point. But yeah, it helped, and it's great, and I don't regret doing it. I think it was cheesy as hell, yes, of course, it's dumb TV, but I've been fortunate to gain a lot of new clients that I don't know would have found me elsewhere, and now it's kind of dead. Like I don't see too much from it anymore, and now clients are just coming in just like they were before, and honestly I kind of prefer it that way. I don't hear much about the show, and they're coming because they like my work, not because I was a dude on some dumb TV show.
That's good, because I've seen some guys that have been on TV shows, and they kind of just became a character. You'll see them at conventions with a big poster behind them, and they're just sitting there talking about the TV show, but they don't tattoo, and they just became like a cartoon of what they probably once were,
Fiction.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant observation, and way too true, sadly.
Yeah, it's but I guess that's the reality TV society that we're living in right now.
It's interesting. I agree.
Did you get like a bunch of like stalkery kind of people chasing you down afterwards? I'm serious about that.
Yeah, dude, it's weird, and there's still some fucking lingerers, man. Yeah, there's still a couple weird ones out there.
So I've been doing this show for about a year now, and I have a couple daughters, and they could give a shit less. They don't care.
Yep.
But when my 17-year-old daughter saw the promo for this show, she was all giddy because you were going to be on the show. You finally made me cool, man. Thanks.
Oh. Hey, any way I can help, man. I'm not cool. You can tell her that.
Well, she doesn't care about tattooing. She just likes handsome, nerdy guys. So.
Well, the nerdy parts for sure. But I'm glad I could help, man. I just had my first daughter like 8 weeks ago tomorrow. So wow. Go dads.
How's that affected your career? Are you finding enough time to do what you need to do?
Absolutely not. I never have, to be honest with you. It's honestly, it's awesome, man. Like I can tell. I leave for work, and it's like I don't want to leave, and then I get to work, and it's like I want to be here because I want to get so much better for her rather than for me now. It's a totally different dynamic, man. Like my wife's at home, like holding my baby all day, and I just want to go home and be with her, but. Like at the same time, you want to be that much better at your art and tattooing and like progress your career because it's all for them. It really is. As cliche as it sounds, it's night and day. It's not for me now. It's for my kid. It's rad though. It really is.
Yeah, I mean it's cliche for a reason. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, all the rumors are true. It's pretty gnarly. It's magnificent and super exhausting, but so badass at the same time.
So, do you do any artwork other than tattooing and your drawings for tattooing?
Yeah, as much as I can. I draw every single day of my life, and that's another thing I tell young tattooers and artists: draw every day. Draw or paint or create something every single day, because if you don't, you're not going to be as good as you could be. So yeah, I paint and draw. I've been doing a live nude model painting workshop with a guy named Sergio Sanchez and the rest of the guys at my shop at the Vatican lately. 10-week course, crash course for sure. But I mean, I've learned so much about color theory and lighting and all this amazing stuff with oils, and it's inspired me to go home and draw that much more. But yeah, I mean, I draw every day, dude. every day.
Hey, I saw on your website that you got together with a bunch of guys, and Intense brought you over to Italy to do like an intensive oil painting thing.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah,
tell me?
that
Can you
was-
tell us a little bit about what that was all about?
Well, Intense, the ink company, as most of you probably know, is an amazing organization, and you know, there's some stigmas about sponsorships. I see somebody asking about sponsorships right now. You know, I'm definitely picky across the board when it comes to everything. Tattooing's sacred to me, and anyways, Intense is started by a tattooer and is remained maintained by a tattooer and guys who have lots of tattoos. So much like other reputable brands, I stand behind them thoroughly. They're a good brand that wants to help the tattoo community. You know, they're one of the first ones to get FDA approval. They're certified. They care about the tattoo community. They put on good shows. They have artists that they present in a good way to show the public that tattoos are more than just like, you know, street shop tattoos. It's art. And anyways, they sent us to Italy for what they call the Intense Creative Academy, and it's something they're initiating this new thing where they've noticed a trend in tattooers wanting to delve into fine art. A lot of us do it, and you know, why not encourage that, promote that, you know, because it only directly influences your other art. You know, if you're doing this medium, you're gonna like directly get better and produce more good work of this medium. And so they sent us to Italy, and we learned under a master who studied Renaissance painting in Italy at the famous academy in Florence. And you know, there's like 6 of us who got to study under a master, like straight up a master. I mean, this guy, Wilson Guevara, is like brilliant. And a 3-day workshop where we learned everything from start to finish, doing Renaissance style painting, portrait painting, sorry. And they documented the whole thing, and it was really, really incredible. Like, the experience was so retarded, I can't even put words to it, really. But I mean, I was in Florence, you know, where Michelangelo like roamed the streets, learning how to like, oh, I want to sculpt that, I want to draw that, and I want to get inspiration to do the Sistine Chapel, for God's sakes. Like, I mean, it was magic, dude. Like, I encourage everybody, go to Italy, go to Rome, go to Florence, like, do it all, because Intense made it like a reality for me, and it was magic, man. It really was.
Who else was there with you? What other artists were there with you?
Oh man, I mean, Camille, George Mavridis from Greece, Moni Marino, you know, from Spain, who's killing it. She just won that Solon thing, by the way.
Did. She just won 25 G's for that Rockstar can thing.
Yeah, congrats, Moni. You're the shit, and I love you. And she's such a rad chick. I mean, it was so rad, dude. It was so cool. Billy Moran from the Intense team. Who else was there? Shit. Mike Tomasi, one of my mentors and best friends. The guy, I invited him to my wedding. He's taught me so much. Dude, it was so rad. It was just like tattooers that got to geek out and learn how to paint with oils, like from a master. I mean, it was so humbling, because like we were all like, holy shit, none of us know how to do any of this. This is, oh shit, you know? But I mean, it was so good. We learned so much, and it was rad. Like, top 5 of my life for sure. I mean, that's up there with like the birth of my child. It was so rad.
That's great. You're totally gonna get kicked in the balls for saying that, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, 8-week-old child. You're gonna come home, and your wife's gonna be like, what?
She's in the other room, fucking making fun of me with my friends right now.
That's funny. Canman, I think, has a question for you.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
I did have a question that actually Ben had already asked, but I can probably elaborate on it regarding the shows. Do you find that there's a lot of argument with a lot of tattoo artists based on, you know, is there a benefit? Is the general public getting more educated about tattoos through the shows, or are they, you know, coming in with, you know, kind of crazy, unreliable expectations? You know, what's your take on it, seeing as though you have been on the show and you've obviously, you know, probably experienced a lot of customers that have come to you because they saw you on the show. Have they come to you with, you know, pretty reasonable expectations of what they want as far as a tattoo, and does it seem that the positive aspects of the tattoo of the shows, and are people getting it, or are they coming with kind of odd expectations? Which for example, the cliche of I want a back piece, and they thought they'd get it done in a day. I mean, that's more of a cliche, but do you know what I'm saying? Have you noticed that people are getting a little bit more educated about the process and how to look for better tattoos and whatnot?
You know what?
Sorry.
You're right about the back piece. I think people expect drawing perfection pretty quickly now because of the shows. But you could talk about that for an hour for sure. I think overall the tattoo shows, pros and cons for sure. I think the shows have brought a light to better tattooing to the public who doesn't understand tattooing at all. I could talk shit all day, and I could also praise all day. Kat Von D, for example, is a good tattooer. I honestly say I think she's a good tattooer. I think she's a great tattooer. I don't know if she's putting out as much work as she once was, but that's neither here nor there. But the public saw good tattoos on television. People that never had tattoos or no interest in tattoos saw more than just the biker, drug, creepy, whatever thing, and they saw good tattoos done, and it brought on a whole entire influx of new clientele to all of us guys that were just dudes making art in our local communities, and I'm grateful for that, and then I did a show years later, and it was a competition-based thing. It was totally different, and it put kind of the same thing. It put good tattoos and bad tattoos on television, and guys like Roman, who are already big names, were big names before he did the show, who did great tattoos then, do great tattoos now, and I think that's a good thing. In general, I think good tattoos in the public's eye is a good thing for our industry. Yes, it brought me business, and yes, that's why I did it, to hopefully give myself a little bit of free advertising. Was it free? No, they paid me like minimum wage to be there for 6 weeks. That sucked, but whatever. But did it help? Yes, and I'm definitely grateful for that. I put in my time, and I worked really hard up until that point, and I work harder now than I did before the show, mind you. But I think the shows can be good. I think some of the shows now are terrible, and I think some of the shows now are great. Like I will say, I think Tattoo Nightmares is, Gus and Tommy and that other chick. I think yeah, exactly, yeah, sure. I think they're showing the public that like we can help people in more ways than just art, and I think that's cool. For me, I connect to my tattoo work and artwork spiritually in a way that's larger than words can really explain. That's just because I'm a nerd, but I do think that with the right production company and guys who actually give a fuck, like we can show the world that tattooing is a beautiful, beautiful medium of art, and should be considered a fine art, just like oil painting. Some guys oil paint well, some guys don't. Some guys tattoo well, some guys don't. And if we can put more good tattooing on TV, the better, in my opinion. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. The old timers are going to hate it, but I've noticed old timers embracing it. Jack Rudy was on Spike TV with, promoting that show.
Yeah.
And he's a good dude that's like all about integrity of tattooing. I met the guy, I know the guy, he's a badass dude, and he gives a shit about tattooing, and he was on television saying like, that shit's lame, that shit's cool. So like, it's gonna happen whether we like it or not. So I think it's our job as tattooers and voices in the industry, if you will, to promote quality and integrity. And this shit is sacred, and if we don't treat it like it, it's gonna fall apart. And I stand by all my friends that are willing to do it because they want to do it to show the world that tattooing is here to stay, and it can be done, and you can get amazing fine art put on your skin, not just hang it on your wall. And to me, that's what this is all about. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's just my opinion, and I stand by it.
I have another question too. Is how important do you feel tattoo artists working in other mediums and other painting mediums in regards to how that helps with their tattooing, and also have you had any examples of where that's been helpful in terms of clientele and somebody coming to talk to you about a tattoo and having that other part of your artistic vocabulary there to show them, and maybe that's helped you to either turn them on to a better tattoo or just to open their mind to other things in general. I mean, what's your thought on that? Has that been helpful to you, and do you recommend everyone do that?
I absolutely do, man. I mean, that's a really good question, because I think tattooers need to educate themselves as much as possible. I truly believe that, and in an artistic sense, right? And I think the public needs to educate themselves as much as possible as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learn about tattooing. Educate yourself in the way that, like, you understand what a good tattoo is. Stylistically speaking, it's irrelevant. You know, just learn what's technically good, and what works for you aesthetically. I think being versatile, across different mediums is really important. I think me drawing a lot and getting better at that makes my tattoos better, plain and simple. Same as watercolors, same as oils, same as charcoal. I mean, Carlos Torres, I talked to him extensively for a minute in an interview for Prophets and Poets, and he told me to better your black and gray work, I recommend working with charcoal quite a bit, so you understand value. And I did, and I took it to heart, and I did, and I practiced with charcoal, and I practiced with graphite, and it helped my black and gray like immensely. I think if you care enough to get better, you should care enough to look outside of your box and dive in straight up. I mean, I want the public to understand that tattooers these days aren't just guys that are looking for just a good time and just easy money. We're guys that are somewhat educated. Some of us are educated, you know, like I went to college, a lot of my friends did. Some of us, like choose tattooing as a career because it is an art form that we love aesthetically, but have fallen in love with by doing it. And the culture is so amazing that, like, we want it to be better. So, I mean, I think it's vital for the client, the artist, and everybody in between viewing it to respect it and take it as like something that's honestly, it's an ancient art, just like cave paintings. I mean, that shit's old as hell, and like we should treat it like that still. Just like we go into museums and we respect old famous paintings on the wall. I mean, you should respect tattooing because it's worthy of our respect.
Absolutely. And I want to get this straight to anyone who's watching. Tattooing is not easy money. I know a lot of tattooers, and it is hard work. These men and women work hard, all day with no free time.
I agree. I mean, thank you. It's so true, dude. I mean, like I can honestly say I work at least 80 hours a week on my art, and that's tattoos and my drawing. I do a little bit of realism, and I do a little bit of everything else. And if I do like a portrait for my client that day, like I'm either drawing that morning or I'm drawing that night, because a portrait is awesome. I love realism and tattooing, but I also like creating, and I like to know that I'm being actively creative. So I put a lot of work into this. So tomorrow I'm better than I was the day before. A friend of mine said, I just want to be better today than I was yesterday. And that stuck with me, like really, like quite a bit. And it's true. Like in 2014, like I'm going to draw every single day for sure. It's my like New Year's resolution, because I missed a couple of days this year, and it irks me because I know I would be that much better if I had drawn that day. And I work a lot. I work really hard. And I told the kid yesterday who's interested in learning how to tattoo, dude, if you want to learn how to tattoo, get an apprenticeship and draw every day. And that's how you'll get better. And that's it. That's it. And yeah, it's not easy. It's hard work.
Well, hey, I know you started shooting some videos. You have a video series kind of thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
We're about 20 minutes over on our show, but I want you to talk a little bit about what you've been up to, because I saw we played one of your videos and they look really cool. So can you tell us what you've been doing with those?
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry we're so over.
No, actually,
for hanging out.
I'm glad to be talking to you, and I'm totally happy to be running over because it's the internet.
Likewise,
we have that kind of freedom.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, thank you, and thank you for your time. Honestly, thanks for having me. The videos came from. For me, I've been on Instagram for a long time now, and we all have our websites, we have our Facebooks, and I don't give two shits about any of it. And I know that people like constant change, and Instagram's cool because of that, so we can whatever. So I just decided I want to show people a little bit more than what my Instagram offers or my website offers, and that's just a little bit more insight onto what I do and how much I care about it. And I draw a lot, I tattoo a lot, my clients are cool people, and I just wanted to document it a little bit and show people a little bit closer angle, weird, artistic shots of like, the skin being tattooed or me drawing, whatever, and I film everything, and I have my assistant film everything. One of my clients, this cool kid Josh, I've been tattooing him for a couple of years now. I hired him to come manage the Vatican where I work, and I just have him film some stuff for me, and I film some of my tattoos, and just to kind of like document the process. And I'm not trying to share secrets and like whatever, I'm not trying to like get taint the sanctity of tattooing by any means.
Hey, well, wait, what's wrong with sharing secrets? It's not. We get that a lot because of what we do. We have a lot of artists on this show, and we have a lot of respect for the craft of tattooing. But
I know you do.
Are there really secrets that can't be shared? I mean, I don't think anyone should learn to tattoo by watching a video, but
I agree. I totally agree.
I think information should be shared.
I couldn't agree more, man. I think some guys, might be maybe a little overzealous with it, but I agree with you. I think tattooing is just like any other medium of art. And anybody who cares about it enough to learn to do it well deserves to learn how to tattoo. And that's I kind of stand steadfast with that. I'm willing to help anybody I can and share wisdom and advice and information that I've been given and learned over the years to somebody who I think deserves that knowledge. But I am picky with that for sure. I'm not like I'm not trying to sell DVDs, hand over fist. So I'm a little weary about that, but like I'm definitely down to like share. Good, but it's a good point.
Yeah, we catch a lot of shit for it because well, TattooNOW is run by non-tattooers. Cat's out of the bag. Anybody out there? No, we're just kidding. We don't hide that fact. And
but you guys have good tattoos and you understand good tattoos and you're helping the community immensely. That's why I'm here.
Right, and we love tattooing, and we respect it. But we do catch a lot of flack from some of the hardcore guys that are like, "What are you doing? You're gonna give it all away." And I don't know. I think it's important to share information. If you want better tattoos out there in the world, people need to know where what the traditions are and where it's coming from. And if you hide that from people, they're just going to go out and do fucked up tattoos anyway.
It's absolutely true. It goes back to the television thing, like kids are going to learn how to tattoo from television now, which is insane, but I mean it is what it is. So it's going to happen with or without us. So if we have a foot in the door, we might as well take one more step. We might as well. We're going to do it right.
Right on. Well, hey, thanks for talking with us, man. Canman, you got any last questions for me?
No, it was good to talk with you, man.
Yeah, it was great having you on.
Cheers, guys.
And I'd love to have you back sometime. We got
anytime.
We got a whole other full season ahead of us, so it would be great to have you back and chat with us a little bit more.
I'm way down, dude. I'd love to. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man. And we'll
cheers, guys.
We'll talk to you again.
Good night.
All right, we've got a couple segments coming up. We've got Tattoo of the Day, and we've got TattooNOW News with Matt O'Brien. He'll be talking to you a little bit, and that'll be up right after this video.
Know what web traffic? Still not booking appointments? Is your web designer missing in action? Well, now there's hope. TattooNOW.com. We work on all levels, from artists just starting out to professional tattooers of exceptional influence.
My name's Gabe Ripley. I founded TattooNOW.com well over 10 years ago at this point. Ultimately, at the core is power websites and mobile apps. What we do is allow the artists to do the easy part, which is upload their portfolio, update their news or their blog, and then we use our special programming to distribute that content on multiple websites throughout the internet and mobile app universe.
TattooNOW creates high-traffic websites specifically for the tattoo industry. My name is Brian Kopthite. I've been working for TattooNOW since 2009. I am the primary salesperson and marketer for TattooNOW. TattooNOW powered websites create new clientele and new revenue for artists that are new, established artists, or established studios. We'll help to get you booked up for a month doing just the tattoos that you want to do.
And that's where your friend can't build one as good as us. That's all we do is build websites for tattooers every day. But what we have at TattooNOW really can't be matched by any other company.
Updating a TattooNOW website is very simple. If you can do social media, you can update to TattooNOW. Do that 24/7. You can go home at the end of the night, and you have done a great tattoo, and you're excited about it, you update that tattoo, it goes instantly to your website, it goes to your profile page, it goes to the iPhone app. It's what TattooNOW is all about.
You know, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. And if you look at the statistics and the amount of traffic that we're able to provide and the amount of clients that we're able to attract, no one can touch it. Is that on now?
What's up, guys? This is Matt. So we're gonna start off with the network news. This is stuff that comes from TattooNOW's main section. So let's get right into it. The first big news is Tom Strom is moving out of the United States. We are losing a fantastic fucking tattooer and an incredible artist. If you guys have seen anything he's done, I mean, his Instagram is just a massive set of incredible stuff to check out. I guess I'm switching mics now. Stick it to me. Okay, so I'm coming from a different mic now, which is not this one. So yeah, as I said, Tom Strom's leaving, but he's going to be in good hands with Kinst. They're obviously going to be starting collaborating and doing all sorts of amazing stuff, so stay tuned for that. I imagine he'll be updating his website a little bit more as we go along. So the next bit is TattooNOW TV, which is the website for the show. We try and upload our clips. The latest one that we put up was the Torres clip. He was a great guest, and we had a great time talking with him, and we kind of cut him up so that you guys can search him really easily through our YouTube page. Other big news that's going on the network is Adam from Graceland Tattoo. They're a great studio in New York. Try and catch up with them as much as possible. Adam does some guest spots with us, but he's looking to hire a new artist at Graceland, and highly recommend looking into that. Let's see what else here. Yes, yesterday's article was part of the TattooNOW history section. We're big dorks of history. At least I am a lot. The first article that we released was the history of tattoo removal, which was pretty grim and gross. But the latest one that we put up is focused on Otzi. He was a herder back about 4,000 years ago who died and was frozen, so his skin was preserved really well, and they found a bunch of tattoos on him that are incredibly interesting. Part of it is that he actually got them as a part of therapy. They're on his knees, ankles, wrists, parts of his back. And it's just a really interesting story. We added actual links, so if you guys really want to read more into it, it's pretty cool. So that's about it for the network news.
What's up next, Matt?
What is next is going to be Tattoo of the Day, which is brought to you by artists on the TattooNOW network. We get a good amount of questions about people asking how they submit to TattooNOW. We actually have paid memberships. We work our asses off on the back end, and this stuff is not cheap, and we do our best to make sure that we work the best we can to offer the best. And one of these features is that you get to syndicate all of your websites and everything like that, and then anything that you upload can be voted on the app, which you'll see being featured in the video. So go on, vote for your favorite tattoos. We check them out and we try and highlight them. So this is the latest one of it. Check it out.
See ya.
Well, that's our show, and that's also our season. This is the last one of this season. All the noise you hear in the background is Canman's awesome art party. If you don't have one in your area, start one because they're great. Some of the work that I saw done here tonight was amazing. I want to say a happy anniversary to Canman and Visions Tattoo. They've been here for how long?
9 years.
9 years today. So it's a great day here. Our next show in 2 weeks is going to be a best of the whole season because this is our last live show of this season. And then our season premiere, January 12th, I believe, will also be featuring Jeff Gogue's Tattoo As I See It DVD premiere. We're going to be doing that from a theater back home in East Hampton. And we'll get, if you want to drive up there and you can check out Jeff's new DVD, we're going to have a party, and that should kick off the new season, something proper. And that's it. Thanks for watching this year. You've seen it progress from, some pretty humble beginnings to some not as humble at the end of the year. But, we're always improving, and we're going to try, I've said this before, we're going to try to get a Kickstarter out there and try to get some new equipment so that we can really pump this shit up. And thanks for watching.
See you.
Thank you.
Don't you sell that guitar?